at one point, Kalon said, if you're having a laugh, give us a like. Give us a like he's actually a part of this podcast. Get that garbage out of here, Kalon.
I don't want to be too rude to our guest host.
Yeah, motherfucker. We're gonna take it up a few notches right now. See if y'all can keep up. Wanna give a motherfucker
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 69 of the ScruffCast. I'm Jon.
And I'm Dan.
He's back, baby!
Oh, you know what I was going to do? I was thinking about this earlier, actually, which I should have done. I was going to be like, and I'm James, and pretend like you had to get a third guest on or something like that.
Yeah, and Dan was too busy for us this week.
Yeah, I was going to. You know what? I'm actually pretty sick right now. I got a pretty nasty cold.
You were lovesick. You missed the podcast.
Hey, that was it. And if I didn't already miss 2 weeks, I totally would have phoned it in this week, but
I've exhausted my guest hosts. I don't have many other friends.
Exactly.
So it'd be just a solo one this week.
That was it, so I had to come back.
Well, Dan's back. We're happy to have you back. It's been 2 weeks without you.
Yeah.
So?
How was it?
How was it?
Fantastic.
Your break from the podcast?
It was a great break. I needed it. Went on the honeymoon. We went to Aruba.
Ooh.
Aruba is fantastic. I would highly recommend anyone go there. That's it.
Very nice.
I feel like the whole dynamic's just thrown off right now. Nobody can see us, but like John's sitting in his normal chair. I'm standing right now using a mic stand because if I sit, my nose gets too clogged up. So I got to stand. But it's like kind of thrown. It's like awkward now. I'm like looking over him now.
A little. But we'll persevere for the listeners.
We'll power through it. Let's just try to get through it.
All right. So, welcome back, Dan. And what better way to welcome you back than by having our first listener email, because we didn't get any. Well, you were away.
Yeah. You got none.
No,
I remember
none.
listening. You guys suck, man.
The listeners were Jabroni of the Week for the past few weeks. A little throwback. It's been a while since you had Jabroni of the Week.
There we go.
All right. Email to scruffcast@gmail.com, where you guys can write in. Subject line, opinion. They start off with my favorite way to start an email. Hey, ScruffCast team.
Boom.
That's us.
Love it.
Welcome back, Dan. And shout out to Ian and Kalon co-hosting while you were out. Great job.
You know what? They did do a great job.
Yes.
We'll get into that in a bit, but
Yes.
they did a great job.
I would like to shout them out. Thank you, Ian and Kalon, for filling in while Dan was away.
Yeah.
Give the listeners, you still have the ScruffCast, still something to look forward to in their week every day. Every week.
Couldn't totally shut it down, you know?
Yeah. Listener goes on to say, I had an opinion on the National Whatever Day. These are the things me and Ian talked about last week.
Yep.
Most notably, National Cinnamon Raisin Bread Day. I had an opinion on the National Whatever Day. It's one of those things that annoy me more than it should. Who makes up these days? And why? What are we supposed to do extra special on these days? Today is National Dogs Day in politics. What the hell does that even mean? And why do I care? Should I be sending a card to the mayor with a Tim's card if he has a dog? Just ridiculous.
Like, you know,
that's a good point. Like,
yeah. Sorry. Yeah, National Dogs Day in politics. Yeah, when you guys were talking about this, you know, I'll finish up the email and I'll go into it.
Just ridiculous. Anyway, now that I have that off my chest, I look forward to the next podcast. You're a loyal listener, even through the video game discussions. Yeah, we droned on a little bit last week about our top 5 video games.
Just a little. I did listen to both. I did. Yeah, the National Dog Day in politics is just ridiculous. But I hate these national days. So at work, we used to listen to CHFI.
Yeah.
The radio station. And they would always announce what day it was. National, Desk Day.
Every day?
National Fish Tank Day. It was ridiculous.
I like how you looked at the desk and you thought desk day, and then you looked at my fish tank and you thought fish tank.
It's a pretty bare room, man.
Yeah.
There's not much to say. I was going to say National John Day. Like, yeah, it just drove me insane. I just hated that radio station, too, so it just drove me absolutely crazy. Yeah, so I agree with you guys. I hate all that stuff. But I got a lot more to say.
Yes, you got to listen from the outside perspective. How was it?
You know what?
As a listener.
You know what? This, I talk a lot of shit about our own podcast because I don't think it's that good. But we're not bad.
Damn.
This is a pretty good podcast, I have to say. Listening from the outside was it was kind of fun.
Dude, it's the intro and the outro.
I know.
It's too good for our podcast.
It pumps you up, man. I'm not going to lie. It's really good. Okay, yeah, so I got a few things. Now, hopefully the listeners remember what these things were. I barely do. I just kind of wrote down quick jot notes as I was listening. First off, Eugenie Bouchard. Is that her name? The tennis player. She is a thought, and that's all. She's not a good tennis player. You guys were talking about.
Yeah, I was talking. She's supposed to be starting.
No, she's garbage. And I'm actually like somewhat of a tennis fan, so I would have actually liked to be there for that conversation because it was pretty interesting. Yeah, Eugene Bouchard's a loser. SpongeBob musical sounds interesting. Didn't even know it existed. I would like to check that out. I'm curious about the baseball anime.
I believe it's called Diamond No Ace.
Diamond No Ace.
Yes, you'll have to connect with Kalon.
Maybe check that out. The TV show Smart Guy.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic show.
I forgot we were talking about that.
I don't know what the hell you guys were talking about. Kalon was saying it was junk. Like, that was such a good show. Such a good show.
Better than Sister Sister?
Oh, 10 times better.
Really?
Yeah, it was not even close.
Wasn't one a spinoff of the other?
I think... I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
I think the same chick, the sister from Smart Guy, was in Sister Sister. I don't know if it was a spinoff, but...
Maybe. Alright.
Anyway... at one point, Kalon said, if you're having a laugh, give us a like. Give us a like he's actually a part of this podcast. Get that garbage out of here, Kalon.
I don't want to be too rude to our guest host.
Another thing, conflict managers were all nerds. That's just the way it was. You know it too. You just didn't want to say it.
I wasn't a conflict manager.
That's what I'm saying. But you know they were all nerds.
Fact.
Oh, okay. So Kalon brought up Miss Sloda.
Yes, I couldn't remember who she was.
Oh, she's like the big fat curly-haired lady. She wasn't even actually like a teacher, I feel like. She just like...
Big fat curly-haired lady.
Yeah. Anyway, I got a funny Miss Sloda story. So I remember we were on the ski trip one year. Like, this is like maybe grade 7 and around there, right? So our buddy Brinkus, who you guys talked about, I think last week on the podcast, he was just wild. He was just like a wild kid. And the whole thing was like you weren't allowed to bomb down the hills, right? You had to like go down them like, perfectly. So we all got like our orange sticker so we could go on like any hill there. And sure enough, like she's like at the top of like she's like going up the ski lift and sees us like at the top of the hill. She's like, no bombing down the hill, and Brinkus just like blasts down the hill. Like just blasts down. Like it was so funny.
Dude, that guy had no.
And she's like yelling at him, "What are you doing?" But she's like, the funniest thing is like she didn't know who it was, right? Because you got all your ski gear on and stuff.
And so far
so
away.
like yeah, they were gonna get him in trouble.
That guy had no regard for the rules.
Yeah, she's like, no bombing, and he's just like literally like probably going 50 kilometers an hour down the hill. Kalon cleaned it up though when he said, for anyone lucky enough to be on the podcast. So he made up for his prior comment of give us a like, because I like that. That was nice. The dinner you were talking about when I went for dinner at the restaurant when I sent you the balsamic.
Yes.
Oh, first off, mad respect instantly. Like as soon as I sat down at the table, it was already there. I was like, oh, this, I feel respected here. This is going to be a good meal. And sure enough, it was. And I think you guys were curious about what the dinner closed with, the dessert.
Yes, because we did our top 5 desserts that week.
Yeah, it was a Nutella calzone with vanilla ice cream.
Ooh,
oh, dude, it was delicious.
Nice.
Yeah, it was good. Then you guys were talking about like factories and stuff like that. Like, this factory, that factory. You know what I mean? You guys are talking about like different factories that are like stores in a sense, right? Like
factories.
Yeah. You guys were talking about
I was on this podcast. And
I know. You guys were talking about it. Anyway, you guys missed a pretty important one. The Apple factory.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you remember what you were talking about?
Yes. Like I was talking about the spaghetti factory, the cheesecake factory.
Yeah. And you were saying, when it's a factory, it's going to be good. The Apple factory. You guys missed the fucking most important one.
Yeah, but like then I don't know. Apple's a fruit though. It's not like a
but dude,
it's
the store itself.
I suppose.
All right. So that was Kalon's. Kalon, you did a pretty good job. No, you know what? You did a very good job. I'll give him that.
Do you have a score? But if you score, then you got to score both. And
I got to score both. That's not fair.
All right. But you did a very good job.
He did a very good job.
A little golf clap for you, Kalon.
Yeah.
Clap, clap, clap.
Not a Tiger Woods clap, but maybe like a Tommy Fleetwood clap. My dad listening will get that reference.
That was funny.
Yeah.
I just picture mom going, okay.
All right. Moving on to Ian's. You guys talking about crepes. And Ian was saying crepes are trash.
Yes, he tweeted at the ScruffCast account.
Yeah, okay.
Tell Kalon crepes are trash, which made me laugh.
Okay, I get what he's saying, because he was talking about how pancakes are better. Like, pancakes are better, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But pancakes are a breakfast item. Crepes, I feel like, are a dessert item. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, you can't really have crepes for breakfast, can you?
If his aunt from Montreal is cooking him crepes for breakfast, like, get that garbage out of here, French lady. You know? That's no good. You need pancakes for breakfast, crepes for dessert.
Yeah.
Another thing, CCC, that math program, we talked about this earlier, was fire. It was so good, that program.
I remember we had this kid. I remember logging into the computers in elementary school. It was so slow. And there was this kid we went to school with. I think we talked about him on the podcast before one time for something. Matthew Post. Oh, yeah, he was the kid who got smoked with the basketball.
Oh, yeah.
I remember he thought he was like, hot shit because he would type his like password and like first before like the computer would load because it's like so slow.
Yeah.
And then it would like go and like put all the little dots in the password form. And he thought like he was like...
Oh, yeah, you got to such a loser.
Cool. Did you listen to the ScruffCast right in?
Well, maybe he does. Dude, Matthew Post, where are you at?
That'd be funny.
The last I heard, he was like dying. That was like in high school, though. I think Ian told me that, so...
Should have followed up with Ian.
Yeah, should have. Okay, speaking of the diaper party, you guys talking about the diaper party. We still have like 10 or 15 boxes of diapers from that diaper party.
Yeah, I knew you got a ton.
And it was, I'd say about a year ago right now, we had that diaper. Well, I mean, since he's been born. We weren't using them before he was born, obviously. It is a fantastic idea. It's a weird idea, but it's a fantastic idea to run one. Cinnamon raisin bread is fantastic. I know you guys are bashing it. I'm with Ian's mom on this one. Love me some cinnamon raisin bread. First off, cinnamon's good.
Cinnamon is okay.
Dude, cinnamon's pretty good, man.
I think it's okay.
Anyway.
It's like the ScruffCast of spices. It's okay.
Yeah,
Some
right.
people love it for some reason.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. But the raisins. I'm a big raisins fan. I love raisins.
Dude, why do you want to eat a food that makes you poo?
Do raisins make you poo?
Well, prunes make you poo, aren't they? Like big raisins.
No,
They're
dude,
pretty similar. Well, like think about it. Like it used to
prunes
be,
are just big raisins.
it used to be a grape, and then they just like shriveled all the fun out of it, and it becomes a raisin.
I guess, but they're pretty good. But like the reason I like raisins, I probably told you this before. But when I was younger, I don't know, maybe like 10ish and around there,
Yeah.
my dad went on this like huge health kick. Like it was just ridiculous. So like there was no cookies, no chips in the house anymore. He was doing all the grocery shopping, and he would only buy raisins. So like I had no choice. I had to just eat raisins.
Yeah.
Like I'd come home from school and I'd want to have a little munch. I just had to grab a handful of raisins, and that was it. Like, and now I like raisins.
A long-time listeners may remember the story of me going trick-or-treating when I was 10 years old, and an old lady gave me a box of raisins, and I complained.
Yeah.
And then my mom made me go back and apologize.
Oh yeah.
Go back and listen to episode 2. No, episode 3? Episode 2 of the ScruffCast. 67 episodes ago. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
We've been rolling for a long time.
Oh, and Ian brought up the Aunt Jemima thing.
Yeah.
Dude, what are you doing to us?
I know. Didn't you see how I tried to save it with...
I know.
She was making pancakes.
Dude, shit got awkward, man. It got really weird. But like, man, why you gotta do that to us? You know what the climate of this world is like right now?
Dude,
We're out there calling your mom Aunt Jemima?
we're going to get canceled.
And for anyone who knows, Ian's black and so is his mom!
But like, you know what's funny? You know, we don't see the color. We never once mentioned that Ian was black.
No, we didn't because we don't see the color. And his mom is a sweetheart. She's a super nice lady.
Yes, shout out to Ian's mom. Ian,
Shout out to Ian's mom.
I know you're listening. You should get to listen to the podcast. Maybe even if it's only the episode with you on it.
Yeah, maybe she just skips over 68 and 69 when we talk about the Aunt Jemima thing. Even though apparently she knows already, which I didn't know that. But
Regardless.
we're just stupid kids. That's the way it goes.
Oh, yeah. If you ever run for president, they'll dig up random quotes on this podcast.
Oh, for sure.
But
Dude, remember the American Idol sketch we did?
That's what I was talking about with Taryn. We can't even talk about it on the podcast.
We can't even talk about it on the
That's
podcast.
what I was talking
so
about with Taryn, but she's like, yeah, you'd be canceled.
I told the kid at work today about it, and he was just dying. And he's like 18, right? So he understands like the weight that holds right now.
Oy.
I was like, dude, we just didn't know at the time, right? And now we're talking two inside.
We're talking two inside.
Yeah,
Listeners
we're not
have no
even
idea,
getting,
and you'll never know.
There's people who've seen the video who listen to this anyway.
Yeah.
Besides the point. At one point you said "Go off, King." Like Ian was complaining about something. You said "Go off, King." Dude, that was awesome because it's like a spin-off of like the the Queen. Like
Yes, Queen.
Yes, Queen, slay. Like it was like a spin-off of that, but for a guy. I like that. That was a nice touch. That was actually.
I just picture you sitting by the pool, like furiously.
This one was
making
today.
notes
I
as
listened to this
listening.
one today, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, Ian was talking about the movie etiquette, and he's like 100% right.
Yeah.
And like it drives me absolutely insane. Like when even if I'm watching a movie at home, I don't want anybody talking to me. I don't want anything. I need to hear every single word. Like this is the way I am. And I actually have a story about etiquette. You were there for this story. Do you remember when we went and saw Avengers: Infinity War?
Yes, because we couldn't watch it in the VIP.
So we couldn't get the VIP tickets because they were sold out or the timing didn't work out. So we had to go sit with the pilgrims in the regular theater.
Yeah, and listeners who don't know what VIP is. Basically, you have to be. I think it's like 19
Basically,
and over.
you're too poor.
Yeah, it's like 19 and over, and then you reserve your seat ahead of time. Tickets are a little more expensive, but you get these like nice, like plush, like cushy seats. Sit in, you relax. There's no children around.
You get all your food brought to you. You get alcoholic drinks. You get like actual dinner. Like you can order a meat board for God's sakes. It's crazy.
A charcuterie board, please.
Yeah. So we're in that theater trying to watch Infinity War, and there was that woman behind us that had like 3 kids, and they were just like yapping the whole goddamn time. I was getting so angry. I wanted to turn around and punch them all. Those stupid little kids.
They're just like walking Spanish or something.
Yeah, they were like yapping in Spanish. They were like walking back and forth in the aisle right behind us. Oh, I wanted to just kill them. I was so mad because I want to watch that movie so bad too.
It's like, bitch, sit down.
Shut your stupid kids up.
It's killing everybody.
Your kids weren't even alive when this franchise started. Okay, let me enjoy my time here. They haven't even seen the first Iron Man. They weren't even alive.
And then after that, we're like, never watching a non-VIP.
Yeah, that's it.
We're used to the VIP experience.
I'll just wait till it comes on DVD.
Yeah.
Oh, Halo 2. If you guys were doing, if I was on the top video games, Halo 2 would probably be my number one. Just from the nostalgia. When you guys were talking about it, I was getting chills, man. So many good times.
Yeah, it was just the vibes. It wasn't even the game itself. It was the vibes.
And the Cineparts. Yeah. I remember this very clearly. There was 8 of us, not 12. There was 8 of us. The Cineparts came in 4 pieces. Ian came late. He didn't pay for the pizza or the Cineparts. Yeah, didn't pay for it. He came in 4th. I came in 5th. He beat me by like 1 kill. It's not like, whatever. And boys munching on his Cineparts. And then they're going, Ian didn't pay. I was like, Ian didn't fucking pay. Are you kidding me? I was not happy about it. I'm still not happy about it. I still haven't forgiven him. But it's whatever. Moving on. The GX. Remember the clan name? GX? GX stood for Generation Excluded. That's what it actually stood for.
How did you know that?
Because I remember. Because you know who created it was Steve.
Our buddy Steve.
Yeah, Drunken Monkey Crusher. It was his idea.
Yeah.
Those
are his gamer tags. He wasn't like Drunken Monkey Crusher, like one big word. That's what we called him. Like from another story we can't tell on the podcast.
No, it's not. No, but this is the guy you were talking about last week who played like he was really good at these games. And so he was obviously really good. So he's like, guys, when this game comes out, it goes online, we'll make all of our like gamer names GX something. It could be GX this, GX that. We'll have our own clan. So we're like, yeah, let's do it. And Steve was really good, so we all wanted to be on his team because we'd level up quicker. So we all did it, and he didn't do it. He didn't even make a GX
He was too good. He wouldn't even play with us. He'd join the lobby, and he'd be with like all the other like random online people he knew that were really good.
I know. I convinced him to let me play with him one time, and I got in a game with the ogres.
Like, which are like Halo Legends.
Holy Jesus, I'm playing with the ogres. This is crazy. They were on the other team, right? But like, that's the caliber that you were playing. I was just getting smoked, man.
Which like
I was like, dude, I need to level up. Come on, let me in your game. He's like, all right, fine.
I imagine my mom listening. She's like, who the hell's the ogres? These guys are like Halo Legends. But the way it worked back in the day was, if you wanted to join your friend's like little lobby, it would show how many people were in there, and like his was always full, right?
Yeah.
So because it was so good, so you would never be able to join, but sometimes you check and be like, 9 out of 10, so you'd join and be like, you'd squeak in, and then you don't get in for like a few seconds, and you'd be like, hey, and your level's so much shittier than everybody else.
I know. I would just call him and be like, dude, let me in, come on. He's like, all right, fine. He just like felt bad, right? All right, fine, come on. We're old family friends. That's how I squeaked my way in.
Then you have to be like, oh yeah, this is the guy I know. And I remember specifically, you'd be like, hey, what's the shape of Italy? And you'd be like, I don't know. And you'd be like, the boot, and he'd boot you out of the party, and he's laughing.
The worst. All right, nope, that was it. That was the roundup. That's all I had.
All right, not bad. So we did all right.
Ian also did a fantastic job. You're right, that one was much more chilling.
That was
the campfire podcast.
Yeah,
I like that. That was a good description.
Fireside chat, right? You're just sitting there, you're just talking, you're like, Ian, what's up?
No, I like them both for different reasons. It gives me more confidence knowing that I can leave this podcast more often now.
But like, am I ever able to leave?
No, dude, you're the one who records everything. You upload it. See, if we just did it the way we used to do it, where I did all the editing, then you could definitely.
Then it'd be indispensable. I'm just a talent.
Yeah, that's where I'm at now. It's great.
Exactly. You're just like, I'm taking my talents to another podcast.
That's right. So,
all right.
What else we got? By the way, we're keeping this one extra goddamn short because you guys were spoiled the past 2 weeks.
You guys were spoiled.
Ridiculous the length of those podcasts. Don't get used to it.
We probably average 45 minutes.
We've been a little longer recently.
A little bit, but then with Kalon, it was like an hour and 23.
Jesus, that guy just doesn't shut up ever. Like he just keeps talking.
Dude, that's why today I couldn't control him. I
can only imagine. You guys were talking about the desserts, the amount of farts he was probably laying down in this chair too, in my chair, as you guys were talking about all those desserts.
Well, they had to be silent because they weren't on the mic.
I'm just kidding, Kalon. I know he's listening to this being, yeah, Dan.
I thought I did a good job. What the hell?
You did do a good job. Thank you both for filling in for me. Much appreciated. But now we're moving on.
All right, moving on to this week's stuff. We don't have too much because, like I said, we're keeping it short. So you have something in here. Speaking of food, that was food related. You wanted to bring up?
Yeah, I was actually thinking about this yesterday. We were kind of talking about this food item. So, I kind of have a question. Pose a question for you. Pose a question for anybody. Actually, anybody can answer this. What do you think? I guess this is This is our question to ponder for this week. There you go. I'm bringing it.
Oh, there you
I
go.
was on for 2 weeks, so I'm bringing the
kind of a
question
listener. Yeah, remember we killed that? The listener, you're supposed to write in with your questions.
Well, for those who liked it, some didn't, some did, right? So it's up to them. If they want to hear it, they can do it. I'm going to bring one this week because I got one. Most overrated food. Some everybody likes, or some everybody has, but this is not very good. So I'm going to answer it right now. I don't know if you have something in mind. You ready?
Yeah.
Turkey.
Oh.
Yeah,
right.
Turkey.
You know what? I can't disagree because you only really eat it on holidays.
Yeah.
Right? Like, who's eating turkey, like, normally?
No, nobody.
And I don't know. I've gone for, like, the triple Thanksgiving dinner weekend before where I had, like, my girlfriend's family I went for Thanksgiving dinner, my mom's side of the family for Thanksgiving dinner,
your dad's.
my dad's side of the family for Thanksgiving dinner. So I had Saturday, Sunday, Monday, boom, 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 turkey.
It's too much. Yeah, it's just...
It is a little much.
Turkey's like just a crappier version of chicken. It's like a drier version of chicken.
I agree with that. It is dry. There's like, you don't have turkey dark meat. You know what I mean?
Like, there kind of is, but like
but it's like
kind of being.
It's always white meat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like it's so overrated. So I was talking to I was at my parents' house yesterday. And we were talking about it. Like we talked about this before too. It's like it turns out like no one in the house even likes turkey. Every year my dad makes a turkey for like Christmas, Thanksgiving, whatever it is, Easter, and like nobody barely eats it. And then we all kind of came to the conclusion, like, does anybody even like turkey? Like, and my sister's a vegetarian, so she doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't really care for it. My dad even doesn't really care for it. My mom can kind of take it or leave it. It's just my sister's boyfriend who still likes it, right? So my dad was kind of just making it for him in a sense. So one year we decided to just do, my sister's boyfriend makes really good pulled pork.
Oh, nice.
So he's just like, you know what? For it was Thanksgiving or Christmas, I don't remember. He's like, we're doing pulled pork sandwiches instead of turkey this year for dinner. It was fantastic. It was a great idea.
I appreciate that choice.
Yeah, so turkey. That's my most overrated food item.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's kind of puffed up because you have it on the holidays, right? Like, it's all right. It is a little dry. I do love Thanksgiving, though.
I guess it, like, sits on the pedestal, right? Because it's that holiday dinner, right?
Well, you know, like, in the U.S., for Thanksgiving, they, like, bring out a turkey and they, like, pardon it and stuff every year.
Really, eh?
Yeah.
Not surprising.
Then they just butcher it in front of the White House, and then the president eats it for dinner.
That's
on Thanksgiving.
weird.
No, that'd be awesome. They don't do that.
You would want to do that?
I said, that'd be awesome. They don't do that.
Oh, okay.
That'd be hilarious, though.
Yeah,
It's like, all right,
put it past
pardon you,
them.
Professor Gobbles. Come on! They bring out like
head off right there?
Yeah. They bring out like this like sacred like old ass like sword from like the Civil War era.
Yeah.
When Trump-
It says, I don't know if you have anything in mind. You can answer it next week with everybody else, but
well, it depends on overrated. But another
it's like
thing
something
about
like
turkey
everybody like generally likes or like turkey, right? Everybody's always eating turkey for all these things, but it's like who really likes it? You know?
Yeah, it was last year for Christmas. My mom normally makes turkey, but she was like, screw turkey. So we made. She ordered Portuguese food.
Oh, that's good.
So that was a good choice.
Christmas Eve we do Portuguese food.
Yeah,
every year. That's good. It's a good time.
Overrated food.
Yeah, you can sit on it.
Well, I got a little bit of a controversial choice. Now it's good. I like this food. I just think like people think like, oh yeah, this is a good food, and I'm like, it's good, but I don't think it's like the best food. Which is, in definition, it's a good food, but it's it's rated too high. I would say steak, dude. Steak is delicious. I know you're not a really big like beef fan, so you don't like steak. Steak's delicious, but I feel like it's too high on like the food tier list. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah,
it's a little bit. Of a hot
I'm not a beef eater anyway. So I don't really like steak that much, but yeah, everybody, like steak is like the go-to meal. Like, oh, what do you want for dinner? I want a steak. Like, I feel like it's like the manly.
Dude, I like steak, right? But like, it's really just a meat chunk, you know?
Yeah, it's from a cow. It's like a piece of chicken. It's like a piece of pork. It's like essentially the same thing, right?
It's tasty, but I feel like it's rated too highly.
Fair enough. I like that answer.
Listeners, agree, disagree?
Let us know.
It's ScruffCast@gmail.com. Or follow us on Twitter @ScruffCast.
All right. Oh, my next thing. So, we went away on vacation, obviously. So, this happens all the time, okay?
Yeah.
Because any plane that takes off and lands, assuming it lands, people clap. People clap. The pilot lands a plane. oh yeah, like the plane's on the ground. The plane's still going real fast. Like he's braking, right? Everybody's doing a little cheer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it drives me crazy. Like, dude, this is his job. If he didn't land the plane properly, he's not doing his job right.
Yeah, fair enough.
You don't get someone like come to your work while you're coding and be like, John, you're doing a good job putting those colons and S's in there. Like, that's about all I know about coding. I know there's some colons and brackets that go in there.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, fair enough.
That's his goddamn job.
It's like, well, you haven't watched me push the code yet. I could be about to break everything.
I understand he got us all back safely, but like, do you cheer for the bus driver every time you get to the bus stop? No, and you're way more likely to die in a bus crash or a car crash than you are on a plane.
Yeah,
why we clapping for the pilot?
Someone was hit by a bus this weekend.
There you go.
I don't know.
That's just a little grape. That's all.
You know what? I agree, but
it's always been kind of like weird. Like it's
because when you're flying, right, and sometimes like the landing is a little rough, you're like, and then you land, you're just like, we made it, thank God. Woo. So
yeah, that's true too.
I can see it like being a little like that.
And I get it because like I'm not a big fan of flying. I don't like taking off. Taking off just scares the shit out of me. You know what the worst part about taking off is? It's like, okay, you get up in the air, and then like as you're going up, you kind of do like that little like hang time thing. It's like, ooh, you could like the plane kind of like dips a few times.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I hate that. Freaks me out. Like I'm just expecting the plane to just drop out of the sky. Poof.
Yeah, it is a little nerve-wracking. And like we've flown together. We went to Chicago last year, and I remember our flight back. Ooh, that was a rough landing. We were like, it was really stormy that day. Remember, it was really windy. Was that a different flight?
Yeah.
No, that was a different flight.
It was coming back from Fredericton.
Let's come back from Fredericton.
Yeah, we flew in Porter.
Yeah,
Fredericton. Yeah, and it was like super rainy and windy.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see that. Now, what's your thought? I think we talked about this on the podcast last week with Ian, but what's your thought when people clap like at the movie theater at the end of a movie?
I think that's what kind of sparked it in my mind, right? Was you guys were talking about that?
Yeah. Bueno, no bueno. Remember those, listeners?
I don't know. The movie's got to be like next level of good, and it's got to have like a dramatic ending, like Inception.
Yeah.
I think that one deserves a clap at the end because the ending is so like abrupt almost.
Yep, perfect ending.
Where you're just like, whoa! Like that one deserved a clap because like the ending was so abrupt. But I feel like movies tend to like wrap up. They climax and they come back down, and like it tends to wrap itself up. So I feel like having a big standing ovation at the end is like a little much sometimes. But I guess like if like like if it's like a tiff or something like that, and the director's in the room or something like that, then
sure,
it's a great movie. Then yeah, give the guy like an applause, right? Because he's there.
You're clapping for the guy, right? Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay, let's get this moving. My nose is plugged up here.
All right, well, good news. We're on to the top 5.
Pew, 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 pew.
Everybody's favorite part of the podcast.
This is my favorite part of the podcast. And this one we're doing today could have been a top 10. I guess every one we do could almost be a top 10, but keep it a top 5 today.
Well, didn't you hear like Kalon had like 18 or 19 desserts?
Really?
The list
Jesus.
I didn't mention on the podcast, yeah.
I think you did. What do you had? You had Blizzard on there, right?
I had ice cream.
Or did
like,
he have
ice cream? No, I had ice cream, but then I mentioned like an Oreo.
Oh,
blizzard,
okay.
Which I just had one a couple days
Blizzards
ago.
are awesome. Yeah.
Delish.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
Top 5. Would you like to kick it off, or would you like me to kick it off, Dan?
I'll do it.
All right.
Okay. So first off, this top 5 is top 5 bands or artists, like musical artists or bands.
Not like artists like Picasso.
Yep. So I'm kicking mine off at number 5. My number 5, Justin Timberlake.
Oh.
I know this may seem like a weird, kind of thing, right? But I'm a big fan. You know how I became a big fan? I'll tell you. It was actually back in high school. It was 2006, I guess. Well, I think we were in like grade 10-ish. And it was actually Ian who said to me, I was walking down the hall one day. He's like, "Yo, Dad, so Justin Timberlake's got a new album out." And I was like, "Okay." Like, I never really cared.
This is when he came back?
Yeah. So this is his second album after he came back, right? And he's like, "Yeah, it's called Future Sex Love Sounds. You gotta listen to it. It's like so good." So I was like, "All right, I'll give it a listen." Dude, that album, like, okay, a little dramatic say it changed my life because it didn't. But like that album was like revolutionary.
Was this the one that had "Sexy" back on it?
Yeah, it had "Sexy" back on it.
Yeah, so when he like took off.
Yeah, that was the one that really like made him explode. That CD, like, if you listen to it now, it sounds like it could be released now and still fit in with like today. Like it was so ahead of its time. It was insane.
So it really was Future.
Future, yeah. That's a fantastic CD. So ever since then, I've been a big fan. I've bought all of his CDs. I've actually seen him twice. in concert too.
One time with Jay-Z.
One time with Jay-Z, and then I saw him a little more recently. I think just last year by himself, which was awesome. I love going to concerts.
All right.
All right, number 5.
My number 5 is Daft Punk. Now, Daft Punk is interesting because they're like a bit of an enigma, right?
Yeah.
They rarely tour, right? And like some of the albums they produce, and it's like you can't like play these songs live. Like it just can't be done, right?
Right.
That's the way they produce. And they obviously, I don't know, they've always been like really famous, right? But they kind of became a little more mainstream with their last album. What was it called? Random Access Memories. That's what it was called.
Was that the one with Lucky?
Yeah, Get Lucky with Pharrell. Yeah, I think they won a Grammy for that song. But I think
they've been around for like forever, though.
They've been around for a long time.
Yeah.
And if listeners aren't familiar for some reason, these two guys, I think they're French. And
I think so, yeah.
They wear these like robot helmets, so like nobody knows what they look like. And they're just so like they're so mysterious. They just have this like weird sort of vibe to them. And they rarely ever tour. Last time they toured was in 2007. They have this album called Alive, and they did a tour, and then they released an album just of like live tracks from the tour, like Alive 2007. And the cool thing was every track on that album was like multiple of the tracks mixed together because they were playing live. It's just a flawless album. You could listen to that album like from front to back.
Okay, that's a good one.
And it's another thing I like a little shout out to this idea of a continuous album where it like goes from one track into the next.
Okay, yeah.
What are your thoughts on those? Do you like those?
Oh, absolutely. As long as it's like done right.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. One of our like an old band we like. They may be on your list. They may be on mine. Who knows? Was Dream Theater. Had a tendency to do that quite often, where songs kind of faded into one another almost. Maybe not to the extent that Daft Punk does it.
No, it blends itself better to electronic music. But
yeah, for sure. But yeah, I know what you mean. I do like it. Yeah.
That's my number 5.
All right, my number 4 is Ed Sheeran.
Ooh.
Again, a big Ed Sheeran fan. I know, like these just seem like, oh yeah, these are just mainstream artists, you loser. Like, guess what?
You're gonna have a K-pop band for your number 1.
Yeah, just money. Guess what? I don't care.
I do what I want.
Yeah. No, I started listening to Ed Sheeran like when that CD X Multiply when that one came out.
The green
one, yeah. And I went out and bought that CD because he had a few songs on the radio. I was like, yeah, these songs aren't bad. I'm gonna go buy the CD, see how it sounds. The CD was fantastic.
Yeah.
So good. So then I bought his next one when it came out, Divide, and that one was also fantastic, even better probably. And I like his songwriting. I like his music. I like his slow stuff. I like his stuff that's like a little more like poppy and fun. But I like him a lot.
He had a cameo in an episode of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Just a little Ed Sheeran fun fact.
That's my number 4.
All right, my number 4. Probably, well, actually no. I was gonna say my only like typical rock band, if you will, but not quite. Is Guns N' Roses.
Oh,
now,
dude, I did not know you were such a Guns N' Roses.
Well, I don't listen to like a ton of different types of music. Like I tend to listen to a lot of
EDM.
like soundtrack for like movies and video games and stuff, especially when I'm working because it's easy to listen to because there's like no lyrics and stuff usually. And I listen to a lot of EDM, like electronic music. But I have a few bands that I like, and I like Guns N' Roses. They just have, well, obviously they're an older band, right? But it's just like timeless, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Their first album was Appetite for Destruction. It's like the highest selling debut album of all time by like any. It's sold like 30
until
million.
50 Cent.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Get Rich or Die
Trying.
Trying.
I think it was the highest from like the 20th century.
Okay,
because 50 Cent overtook it now. But yeah, it was like I think over 30 million copies. Dude, you pop that album in, and what's the name of the first track? Paradise City.
Paradise City, fantastic song. Yeah.
First track on their very first album, and it's like class. It's incredible.
Yeah, like I do like Guns N' Roses a lot too. Like they just have like the sound. They have this sound that I like, and it's like a similar sound to maybe not similar, but like Aerosmith kind of has that sound too, where it's like
it's sort of
it's a
era.
rock.
Yeah,
it's like a metal, but it's like there's something like. I don't know, something about it. I can't even describe it.
Yeah,
like,
it's kind of like in the voice. It's kind of... It is hard to describe.
It's like it's a little more fun, Whereas like a Metallica or Iron Maiden are a little more intense.
Yeah.
Guns N' Roses, Aerosmith are a little more fun, It's still like that hard hitting, but it's like, more fun. I like that.
All right, that was my number 4.
Good choice. My number 3 is Dan and Shay. They are a country act, technically, I guess. They're a little more poppy. Not really country. I became a fan of them just hearing one of their songs on the radio. It was like their debut song at work. And I said, the song's pretty good. So again, it's like I was really big on buying CDs up until I got Spotify like a year ago.
Where you can find the ScruffCast, by the way.
That's right. But I would just go buy CDs. So I went out, I don't know, maybe I told the story on the ScruffCast. I think I just told you. I don't know. So I went out to buy this guy's CD. I went to H&B. I go to buy their CD, and they're like, oh, sorry, it's sold out. I was like, okay, I'll come back next week. Okay, so I come back next week. Oh, sorry, it's sold out again. I was like, Jesus Christ. So I go to the third time. And they're like, oh, it's sold out again. I was like, what the hell's going on? How many copies you guys bring in? Like, one?
Yeah.
So they're like, do you want to order one? I said, yeah, sure. So then finally the next week I go and finally pick it up. And this was actually the same time I was like starting to kind of date Anna, my wife now. So it's kind of like, it's just like that time, and then I started listening to that album at that same time too. It just like brings back good memories, right? And then they've continued to make good music since. I really like their newest CD. I love it.
What's the
just
name
like fun, easy. It's like nice, easy music to listen to, right? It's like I enjoy it.
What's the name of their newest CD?
It's self-titled.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Self-titled. What are your thoughts on self-titled albums?
I think you and Kalon talked about this.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like we talked about this. Was it on the most recent episode?
No. It was like the one
On an old one?
Yeah.
Spreading the Good Cheese.
Yeah. I think you guys talked about it then. So you're talking about self-titled albums. There's a ton of good self-titled albums right there. The Blink-182
Yes,
one.
because Kalon said they were all junk.
Metallica, the Black Album, the Avenged Sevenfold, the White Album. There's like tons. There's tons of great self-titled albums, and that's another one.
All right. My number 3, it's a band you already referenced, which was Dream Theater.
Ah, there you go.
I believe this was my first concert I ever went to. Well, you were there. We went and saw Dream
there.
Theater, which is over 12 years ago now. And now, for listeners that have never heard of Dream Theater, it's like it's a progressive rock band, right?
Yeah, progressive metal band. It's like a mix
progressive
of
metal band.
Rush and Metallica.
Yeah, and these... I was actually just listening just this past weekend. I was listening to... They have this long song. It's like 19-minute song called The Count of Tuscany.
Yeah.
I was listening... And I didn't even know my girlfriend was listening to the lyrics. And she's like, oh, does the Count kill him? And we're like 10 minutes in the song. We're like, oh, we got half the story to go.
You gotta wait.
Yeah, and it's just... I don't know. These guys, they just have a unique sound. And they're just... Like, they have these crazy time signatures. And they're like, you know, they've got some songs that are like, you know, 18, 19, 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
And... Like, you go through a journey on these songs, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, it sounds like multiple songs. You're like, well, it's still the same song playing. And the craziest thing that blew my mind was, now I haven't been to a ton of different concerts, but we went and saw them live twice, actually. And they sound exactly like they do on the CD when you listen to them live.
Yeah,
it's like incredible.
Like very technical music, too. Like, it's... funny enough, spoiler alert, I don't have them on my list.
What?
And maybe this is just recency bias.
Maybe.
Because... I haven't listened to them a lot recently. I was a big fan of their drummer, and their drummer left the band in like 2010. So ever since then, I've kind of like
long
fallen
ago?
Yeah, man. I know, crazy.
Wow.
So I kind of fell off them a little bit. So I think it's just a recency bias thing. But like, there was a period of time where I probably would have called them my favorite band, like probably in high school.
Yeah, we got to go and do a meet and greet and got them to autograph our albums.
Oh, jeez, I totally forgot about that. Yeah,
I have mine sitting in a shadow box in
yeah,
the studio right here.
Oh my god, dude, that's the art. That's our art piece that goes on the wall.
Dude, it should be, because you can't even get all those signatures anymore because Mike Portnoy, the drummer, is not with the band.
That's true. So I have mine still too.
That's
Actually,
priceless.
I think the signatures are faded because I didn't shadow box mine
Mine's
like an
nicely
idiot.
preserved in an IKEA shadow box. We wait like 4 hours in line.
Yeah.
I think.
All right. What are we on? 2.
You're number 2.
My number 2, Blink-182.
Good choice. They just came out with a new album that I haven't listened to.
They did. So Blink-182 was like the first band that I kind of liked myself. Okay, so growing up, I had an older sister. I have an older sister. She's still alive. Who's 4 years older than me. And so growing up, it was like the time of like the boy bands, right? So she was really into like Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, 98 Degrees, whatever it was.
Yeah.
So I was just like a kid. I was like 4 or 5, right? So whatever she thought was cool, I thought was cool. Because it was like, oh yeah, she knows what she's talking about, right? So then I liked those bands. So this Blink-182 was like the first band that I kind of like discovered on my own. I didn't discover them on my own. It was actually like a family friend, their son, who showed me them in Green Day at the same time. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I really liked them. My parents ended up buying me their album Enema of the State when I was like 8. I don't know why they bought it for me. Because like listening back to, it's still one of my favorite CDs. I still listen to it a lot. And I was like, Jesus, like 20 years ago now. That's crazy. That CD came out. Oh, wow. Still, yeah, it still holds up. It's fantastic.
Yeah, that's the one with is that the one with the nurse on the cover?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just had the 20th anniversary. I remember seeing on Twitter like a couple months ago.
Actually, the tour they just did, they played that whole CD front to back,
cool.
and then played like hits after. I had to miss it because it was like Anna's birthday or something like that. I was so bummed. Anyway, so yeah, that was the first band I kind of like discovered myself, and I was young, and like it was the first band that was like, it was obviously so different from boy bands, right? It was like a rock band. They were like punk rock, and their music, like, it was the first time I knew that, like, I didn't realize music could be funny, like, because they were kind of like, they were funny too, like some of the stuff they talked about was like a little funnier, right? Half the stuff I didn't get because I was too young, right? But there was like I didn't realize music could be like funny and fun and energetic and whatever, right? So it was, yeah, that was like, Blink-182 is like definitely up there for me. There's only one band that could surpass them.
And I think I have a feeling of who they are.
You might know who.
All right, my number 2 is Eric Prydz. I feel like I've talked about him on the show before. Once again, another electronic music artist. He is probably best known for his song "Call on Me," which you probably heard. Call on me.
That's a good one.
Oh, we're gonna get a copyright strike on 2 on the nose.
Not when you're singing.
Whoa, how rude. Now, that song, I don't know how long ago that song came out, but he's been around for a long time. I think he's from the UK. I don't know. But he still tours, and I'd love to see him go on tour. But whenever he comes to, he only plays like small clubs and stuff, and I'm too old. I'm not about that life. Go on a stadium tour. I want to sit down and watch.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? But I don't know. It's hard to describe. Like, well, why do you like it? It's just electronic music. That's the thing about music, right? It's so subjective. But
yeah,
I give a shout out to the album Opus, like Opus. It's like a perfect album. I can listen from like front to back.
All right, fair enough.
Just
like
follows.
that.
With Generate. That's my Eric Prydz jam. That's the name of the track.
Like it.
Which I can't sing because it's electronic music. But shout out to Eric Prydz. Sometimes he goes under the name Pryda. Pryda. I don't know why he changes it up. But
Weird.
All right. Brings us to our honorable mention.
My honorable mention is Keith Urban.
Oh, country.
Again, another country singer. Just a big fan. I like him a lot. I don't know what it is. His music is just like enjoyable. I like his voice. He writes good songs. Simple as that. I've seen him, and now I've seen him like I think 4 times in concert, four times live, and he's been just fantastic every single time. Me and Anthony actually drove to Dallas to watch him there.
Is his actual name Keith Urban? Because thinking about it now, he's a country guy, and his last name's Urban. Like
he's actually from Australia.
Really?
Yeah.
Was he the one who's married to Nicole Kidman?
Yeah. That's why he doesn't have songs talking about like tractors and trucks and stuff.
Yeah. I don't really dig that sort of country. Well, to be honest,
yeah, which is what I like. It's the bro country.
Yeah.
It's a whole it's a subgenre, man. There's a Wikipedia for bro country.
Wait, so that's the actual name of the subgenre?
Dude, yeah. It's like a full subgenre of country, right? Bro country. That's like the Florida Georgia lines and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. His name is Keith Urban. It's like actually spelled like he spells it Urban, and it's actually spelled Urbhan. Urban.
Yeah, probably just easier.
He was actually born in New Zealand. Grew up in Australia.
Very interesting.
He just seems like a super nice guy too. He's a guy I wish I was able to meet. Like you said, we met at Dream Theater.
Keith Urban, if you're ever around and you'd like to come on the podcast, shout out. Feel free.
Oh, I wanted to mention this earlier and I totally forgot.
Yeah, go ahead.
But since I just talked about Blink-182, I'll throw this out there now. Did you hear about the UFO videos?
No, I saw a tweet talking about this.
Okay,
that was it.
I'll talk about this quick. So the guitar player for Blink-182...
It's our podcast. We do what we want.
Yeah, you're right. I just like it's not that big a thing, but the guitar player for Blink-182, who was like my favorite person growing up as a kid. I love this guy.
Yeah, no longer with the band.
No, they split up. He left the band for a bit, and then they got back together. And then he left again. So the reason he left is because he was always really big into aliens and stuff like that, right? So he ended up leaving and starting his own company called like To the Stars Academy. They do a bunch of different stuff. They do like movies, like short film, books, all this different kind of stuff, right? But he also has like a heavily based like UFO division in a sense, like a science division, and he's like hired like ex-CIA, ex-military, high up Pentagon workers and stuff like that. He's hired them for his company, right, to like work for him and help expose the truth and stuff, right? So he's been saying to people like, "Oh yeah, we're going to expose the truth, But he's been saying this for years, right? And people are kind of like, sure,
like this
guy's just crazy, right? And he was actually on Joe Rogan's podcast like 2 years ago, and I listened to it. I was excited because Joe Rogan's like a very open-minded person, and he's like big into conspiracy stuff too, right? And he was like, and Tom DeLonge, that's the guy's name. He like was being kind of vague. He was saying like, "There's a lot of stuff I can't say right now, but like it's all going to be kind of released, whatever." And Joe Rogan at the end was like, after it was all done, he like filmed himself after. He's like, that guy's nuts, like blah blah whatever. And I was like,
I
kind of
didn't know
bummed.
about that.
I was like, oh, what the fuck, like, man. I was like, I thought this would be like a really good podcast with him, but he just thought he was crazy. So anyway, just last year he released these videos through his To the Stars Academy company of military planes. It was like the video from like the inside of the military plane and like the fighter, like the pilots talking, and they're following UFOs. And they're following these things, whatever. And the U.S. military has finally, like, just stated, I think it was just this past week, that these videos are real, and they're calling them unidentified aerial phenomena. That's what they're calling them, right? They're not calling them UFOs, but that's what they're calling them, right? And so people were like, are finally like, holy shit, maybe this guy's not crazy. Maybe he's actually onto something, right? So I'm like, I'm so happy for him now, right? I'm like, yes, I'm so happy that it's like, you know, he's not crazy, because like I used to watch like all like they used to have like video, like DVDs where you're getting like even those videos. That's all he would talk about was like UFOs and stuff, right? Even in these DVDs and stuff. So I'm happy it's like finally all working out for him as like a almost 50-year-old now.
Did you see the whole Area 51 thing the day passed?
It did, yeah.
And, like
75 people showed up or something like that. Yeah.
Dude, it was pretty fun that people actually showed up.
Yeah,
I was really hoping that like something would happen.
Yeah, we said we are going to update it, and that's kind of it right there.
That's the update.
Wasn't much that
happened.
happened, yeah.
I was keeping my tabs on it.
All right, your honorable mention. Sorry,
Honorable mention.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, this band's been around for a long time, and I just like I've known them. I heard some of their stuff. I just kind of started listening to them more a bit recently. It was 9 Inch Nails. Now,
Okay.
You know, their frontman, Trent Reznor. He's kind of well known, but he did the soundtrack for The Social Network, which was my number one movie back on when we did top 5 movies.
Yeah.
So, and I just love the sound of that soundtrack. It's just awesome soundtrack.
So it makes sense that you might like 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah, kind of makes sense. And he also did the soundtrack for Gone Girl as well, which also kind of had a cool sound.
What's crazy is I didn't know he did soundtracks.
Yeah,
it's pretty interesting.
Dude, they won an Oscar.
Wow.
I think it was for The Social Network they won an Oscar.
That's pretty wild.
Rightly so. And I don't know,
Trent Reznor also wrote "Hurt." That Johnny Cash sings. It was actually a 9 Inch Nails song, and Johnny Cash covered it and like made it huge, right? Right before he died.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He released it like 6 months before he died, and it like slowed it down. And it was just him and a piano like playing it. It was like a very sad song, right?
They have like a weird sound, right? Like sometimes it's kind of sad.
I think he's like super depressed and stuff like that. He's like
it's good music to like listen to if you're like bummed out or like if you're angry.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
So shout out. I kind of like using the honorable mentions like a little like shout out
for sure,
rather than what would have been the number 6.
All right,
Dan.
My number 1.
I could probably guess this one.
You bet your ass you can. Anybody who's listening to this who knows me can as well. Avenged Sevenfold, and it's not even remotely close. Like they're 1, everybody else is like 100 and down. Okay, I love this. The love I have for this band is like beyond words. Okay, and the first time I heard about this band was actually Anthony. Anthony showed me this band back early in high school. And he was really into like screamo music. Yeah,
he was into some janky stuff.
Yeah, which I didn't like. So he was like, "Oh, Goodell's band, Avenged Sevenfold." I was like, "Dude, I don't care about it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear your crap. I didn't like that kind of music." "Oh no, it's Goodell. These 2 songs on here." So I didn't even give him a listen ever. So then as time went on, like I saw a music video from them on TV, right? I remember like looking at them. I was like, "What a bunch of losers! These guys are lame." Like, whatever. And then I saw
because they were young at the time.
Yeah, they were like 25 at the time.
And they really had that like edgy, like like kind of look to them, right? Like you thought, like, look at these guys.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So I was like, these guys are losers, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, then like I ended up. It was like on Much Music back when Much Music played. I don't even think they play music videos anymore.
Dude, I forgot about Much Music.
When they play music videos, I caught this song like midway through. So remember they used to show the title at the beginning and at the end. So I didn't know who it was.
Yeah, you have to wait.
So I'm like listening to the song. I was like, damn, this song's sick. I like the song a lot. I got to see who this is. And at the end, it was like Avenged Sevenfold, Seize the Day. That was the name of the song. I was like, huh. I was like, well, all right, let me give these guys a shot, right? And then that was it. I just like fell in love with them, and I just couldn't get enough. And I think I've seen them about 8 times live.
That many times, eh?
Yeah.
I saw them once, which was with you last year.
That was the most recent time I've seen them, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you saw them when they were opening for Metallica.
And their newest album, The Stage, is like probably my favorite album of all time, I'd say. It's that good.
Across all artists, really.
Yeah, it
is a good album.
What's weird about them too is like that album when that came out. First off, they did like a whole surprise release, which was like really cool. Besides the point. At that time too, I started getting really into like space and stuff like that, learning about space. and like all that kind of stuff. And then they released this album out of nowhere, and it was like a concept album about space and like AI and technology stuff. And I was like, Jesus Christ, it's like they're like reading my mind and writing music for me. Like I couldn't believe it. It was crazy.
Yeah, they got a good track on there called "Exist" with Neil deGrasse Tyson. Kind of has a voiceover.
Yeah, he does. I think a monologue.
Did he do that voiceover specifically for that song, or they must have taken like a talk he did?
He did it. He did it for the song.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So what he did, because they tried to get Carl Sagan. They tried to get his like famous speech. I forget what it's called.
Pale Blue Dot.
Pale Blue Dot.
That's what it's called. Yeah.
They tried to get that. Carl Sagan's people said no. So they're like, all right, whatever. So they said, okay, let's see if we can get Neil deGrasse Tyson. So they asked him, and he said, yeah, sure, I'll do it, right? So he said, what do you want me to say? They're like, hey, like you're the astrophysicist. Why don't you piece something together? So he's like, okay. So he's like, I got these like 3 different speeches here that I've kind of done before. Why don't we choose some stuff and I can piece it together and then say it? So they said, okay, cool. So they did that, and then because that song the song is like instrumental for the most part. It's how long is that song? 16 minutes?
It's like roughly? 15, 16 minutes.
Yeah, so the song's like instrumental. They wanted to like do it like as if it was like the Big Bang and like the creation of the Earth. That's how they wanted to do it, like through music, which like sounds lame, obviously, but they did a fantastic job. Avenged Sevenfold, and I got to meet them.
You did?
I got to meet them. Like the love for this band I have is just incredible, man. Like I just want to talk about them. I could do a whole Avenged Sevenfold podcast. I love them so much.
I know like the type of feeling you're expressing, where it's just like you're just so glad that something exists.
I'm so glad.
It exists, and like you can't go back in time and make it not exist.
No, I remember I got
that feeling.
I got to meet them, and the way it went about it was like I signed up for like their like newsletter or something like that. I think I was doing something else. And then I ended up signing up for their like newsletter. So anyway, I was getting emails from like their little fan club thing, and I was going to see them in concert. They were playing with Metallica in Toronto, so I already had tickets. And it was like, oh, like win a meet and greet to the show if you're going, right? So I was like, what the hell, right? So I put on there like, oh, I'm going. You just had to like register that you were going, and that was it, right? Yeah. Didn't think anything else of it. A couple weeks later, I get an email, and it's like, you won. You won to meet Avenged Sevenfold. I was like, no way.
So people actually win these things?
I know. So I was like, what the hell? This is nuts. So it's like, so the thing was, like, you know how a lot of these contests are like you and a friend?
Yeah.
This one wasn't. It was just me. I couldn't bring a friend, nothing, right? Even though I was going to the concert with another one of our friends. But it was only me. I was the only one who was allowed to go in, right? So I was kind of like thinking, I was like, maybe I won't go. Like, maybe I just won't do it. I'll just go to the show. I won't do the meet and greet kind of thing, right? And like, because like, you know, they say like don't meet your heroes in a sense. Like, you know, what if they're jerks? And that stuff always freaks me, like scares me a little bit. And like when we met Dream Theater, it was kind of like that. Like I was a big fan of the drummer Mike Portnoy, and he just seemed like he was just in a bad mood. Which I mean, he could have been tired.
I can see that. You could be tired, right, sitting there.
Yeah, but he seemed like a bit of a jerk. It's like, dude, I've been dying to meet him like my whole life, and this is what I'm getting right now. So anyway, I think it was my wife. She finally convinced me to just go do it. So I was like, okay, fine, screw it. I'm gonna.
Oh, you were actually thinking about not going?
I was thinking about not doing it. I was like, I pretty much convinced myself, like, you know what, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. So she was kind of like pushing me. You should do it. So I said, okay, fine. So I went out actually and I bought their vinyl for that new CD, and I was going to get them to sign it. And so we go in there and we got to meet them, and they were like super nice guys, like insanely nice. And like they're the singer of the band is like really into golf.
Yeah,
he's like huge into golf. So I got to like, which we're also into golf, obviously. So I remember thinking like, I want to talk to them about like, or like I got to spark a conversation that they don't always hear. Like, what am I gonna say? Like, oh, I love your new CD. Of course, like that's the reason why I'm here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are my favorite, obviously, or else I wouldn't have done this meet and greet. So I started talking about golf, and like as soon as I started talking to him about golf, he like lit up. And then he was like telling me stories about like golfing at this place and that place, and I was just sitting there like, this is the goddamn coolest thing I've ever seen. I'm talking to the lead singer of Avenged Sevenfold about golf right now. Like,
should have bonded and then got him to come on our golf trip.
Do you imagine?
Oh man, they'd be like, I'm not rooming with you anymore, John.
And what's funny is that would have been like right after we came back from Forest too. I think it was like the weekend later.
So we
were fresh off it too. I didn't even think about it. Yeah. Oh, that'd be so funny. Yeah. Oh, dude, I totally would not be rooming with you. I'd be rooming with him, 100%. All right, I'm sorry. That dragged on too long. I talked about Kalon dragging on too long. I dragged on way too long about Avenged Sevenfold.
That's right. We're still a half hour under Kalon's time right now.
All right, John, go ahead.
All right, my number one, easy choice for me, Deadmau5.
Yeah, I knew that was going to be your number one.
Now, again, another, electronic, EDM artist, if you will. I don't know what it is about his sound. He's got this, like... Because... like with EDM, you hear so much of the same. Like it all sort of sounds the same, right? Got on the quarter beat with
yeah,
right, it just all kind of sounds the same. But I don't know. He's got this like sort of a beat, like progressive vibe to his music. And another thing I like about him in particular is him himself, right? He'll go on Twitter. He'll just like talk shit about people. Be like, oh, Lady Gaga's shit or whatever, right? And people clap back at him and like he doesn't care.
Yeah,
he just like puts him on blast. And I've bought every one of his albums. Well, except his most recent one. I'm trying to remember because now I just have it on Spotify. But I bought them all.
Yeah.
And he was actually unfortunately I've never been able to see him, even though he's from he's from Niagara Falls, right? But he's played in Toronto before.
Uh-huh.
But he was going on tour right here in Canada, like doing like a big tour, right? Like big venues, because sometimes he does these like smaller venue type things. And then I had tickets, and I was like, I'm just gonna go by myself. I don't know anybody else who likes him, but I was like, screw this, like,
I'm going.
It's on the bucket list. I gotta go see him.
Yeah.
So I was gonna go, and it was gonna be at the Enter Care Center.
Yeah.
But then there was problems with the venue, so it got canceled, and they were supposed to reschedule, and that was like 2 years ago, and they've never rescheduled it. And now he's going. He has a bunch of dates because he's like festivals and stuff. I'm like, I'm too old for that shit.
Yeah, you just want to go see him. Like Enter Care Center would have been perfect.
Yeah,
that's
I just
like
want to go
ideal.
see him.
Yeah.
But he, right now he's just doing shows over in Europe and random stuff. Whatever. Yeah. I mean, festival's probably like, hey, you want to come play? And he makes a big chunk of change. He's like, yeah, sure.
For sure. Yeah.
And they've never rescheduled it, so I've always been kind of bummed. And a couple years back, this is like 5-6 years ago now, I was working at Mohawk College, actually.
Uh-huh.
And I think Microsoft Surface tablet was coming out, and then it was like, hey, I'm doing a free show downtown. It was like all promoted by Microsoft. And I thought like, oh man, should I go? Because like I'd have to leave because it was in Hamilton, right?
Yeah.
I'd have to leave and then go home and then like take the train all the way downtown Toronto, like take up the whole day. And I was like,
Right.
And then they didn't go, and now I'm always kind of like, man, I should have went. I found like someone like randomly live streaming it from their phone. I'm like, I could be there.
I know.
And I never went, so I kind of regret that.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Yeah. I remember that was like Blink-182. I think we were like in grade 7 or 8, and I begged my parents. I said, please, can I go to their concert? They said, you can go the next time they come. So I was like, fine.
And then they broke up. Yeah.
So they reunited.
Dude, I remember you bringing the newspaper into school.
The newspaper.
Do you remember this?
I do. Which is crazy because like it took news that long to travel, right? So they probably broke up 2 days before that. By the time it was printed in the paper, right?
And then you bring the newspaper into school and be like, look at this. Like,
guys, look.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. So that's it. That's the top 5. Let us know your top 5 favorite singers, artists, whatever.
I don't care if you listen to like ABBA, right? You're into old music.
ABBA's sick, actually.
Dude, ABBA's got some good tracks.
Yeah, ABBA's good.
My girlfriend was actually singing ABBA the other day, and I'm like, can you stop?
Hey, who sings this song? Oh, it's ABBA. Yeah, let them sing it.
Yeah, keep it that way.
Yeah, let us know your favorite artists, bands, whatever.
Some good tracks.
Yeah.
Dude, are all the ABBA members still alive?
Yeah, I think they just went back on tour.
They still tour?
This is like the first time they toured in like 40 years, something like that.
Really? Damn, I wonder how expensive...
I think they're old, but I don't think they're that old.
I wonder how expensive those tickets are.
I wouldn't even want to think about it.
All right. Well, we're sitting... Dude, we still got up to 57 minutes right now.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right.
We better cut this out before the editing pushes us over an hour.
Yep, that's it. Okay, wrapping it up here.
Tell your friends. Give us a thumb up. Review us on iTunes, Apple Podcasts.
Email us your most overrated food items, and email us your top 5 favorite artists and bands. Let us know what you think. We want to know. Anything else you want to add?
No, that's it.
All right. That's it for episode...
Follow us on Twitter.
What?
Follow us on Twitter.
Follow us on Twitter. Oh, my God. That's it for episode 69 of the ScruffCast. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next week.
As I'm watching her go all out, thinking this, oh damn that bad thing. I can tell you're really good at distracting.
Poof!